What do two hydrangeas and an azalea have in common?
A plant's daddy.
They're going into the ground today. Let's figure out where to put them.
Okay. Just that one, and this one? Where do you think we should put these?
Yeah, and if we need to put any more in here.
Would those azaleas right there get enough sun to flower?
Yeah.
I've just
Do you
noticed
like
your
where I have them
ferns.
placed?
Yeah. What's that? That's that white thing Mama
Which
got
one?
us?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna eventually, I don't know yet, but eventually move that out there where I just put all the wood chips down because it needs more sun. See how it's like stretching? I think it needs more sun.
So that little one's a hydrangea.
Yeah, all the ones that look like this is a oakleaf, and oakleaf hydrangea.
Okay.
This is going somewhere else.
Oak leaves
Ignore
get
that
big,
one.
right?
Yeah, they get 6 to 8 feet tall and wide. So
So we don't need them there because they'll crowd out these hostas you've planted.
they'll, if it's right there, so think like 3 feet apart. So this grows 3 feet this way, this grows 3 feet this way, and then they'll touch.
Okay.
So we want them to overlap a little bit.
Yes, I do.
And then this can kind of sit out in front.
Okay.
That was kind of my thinking, but I just want to make sure because I know the info, you know the
What are you putting
aesthetic.
over there? What you've just finished?
I was going to put the, what's it called, crepe myrtle,
Oh yeah.
but I think it'll shade out some of these plants too much, so I don't, whenever it gets mature, so I don't think that's the right spot for it. I also have a few more of those wisterias. They're native wisterias that we could put along the fence that I'm propagating.
Yeah.
Same thing for all these. I have 2 more of the Eclipse propagating and then a few more azaleas that are all, and they seem like they're doing well.
What this thing really needs is a border.
Yeah, we'll get a border eventually. This is a camellia and it gets pretty big. And this blooms in the fall.
Do you feel
No,
like
this
these
blooms in the winter.
did
spring,
well here?
Early spring, late winter. They're getting a little bit too much afternoon sun, but I think whenever they root in better, they'll be better, but they droop a lot in the afternoons. So we'll see, I'll leave them there for next season at least and see how it goes. So I don't know, which one would you like better in the back? The oak leaf hydrangea or this azalea?
Back? What's that mean? Like where you are?
Like where it is,
Yeah. Probably that one to stay closer to the fence since it stays green all year.
Yeah,
Prettier.
yeah, good backdrop.
No, you cannot go that way.
Yeah, all the azaleas are evergreen.
Cannot.
All the hydrangeas lose their leaves in the winter. Then it'll be a few years. These are small, so it'll be a few years before they get mature. I'm gonna pull that one out. That one's too close to everything unless
What one?
unless I move this.
I liked that thing there.
But it only gets like 3 feet tall, I think. So I put it here not thinking about the future. It was one of the first plants we put in. But I do like it here. So we'll see how it does.
You got your game plan?
You like
Basically
this?
exactly what you did? Yep.
You don't want to move anything.
No notes. Just what I figured. My sun is hot. We're going in.
This is a first edition's Eclipse Hydrangea. It gets probably, I think the tag says 3 to 4 feet tall and wide. And I'm planting it in between 2 hosta. This is Empress Wu, which the tag says gets to be about 4 feet tall and 6 feet wide. So they're spaced in a way that they'll grow together in the future. And I want this to kind of sit in between. In the future, they'll all look like one piece. This has dark, almost black leaves when it first comes out, and then it kind of slowly fades to green. I think it'll all look good together. Digging in here is kind of tough because I have a giant oak tree, live oak tree, right here to my left, which has a lot of roots. So this is going to be tough digging. And it also, the tree takes a lot of the water. So you have to keep these, I'll have to keep these watered well, especially this hydrangea, for the first couple years as it establishes and competes with the roots underneath here. But let's get to digging. Oh, and I almost forgot, this is also very compacted soil. So I'll dig a little bit wider than the than the root ball is so that it can spread out a little and have some room to establish. But like I said, this is going to be hard digging because there's a lot of roots, which is one of the reasons why all the rest of the plants I got are small quart, and I think those are 1 gallons. This is a 3 gallon, I think. So I try whenever I have to plant underneath this oak tree to get small root balls so I don't have to dig a very big hole because it's tough. But this one was in clearance and it looked like it was in good condition for clearance. So I let it sit for a little while in the container to make sure it was all good before I plant it. I trimmed off all the bad stuff and now it looks like it's pushing out new growth, so happy about that. Anybody have any experience with the root slayer shovels? I wonder if they would work any better than this normal Craftsman shovel for these extremely rooty areas. I honestly should probably put down some compost or something and plant this a little high so that I don't have to dig quite as far, for one. And two, it would help the roots compete for water. Because this oak tree is a thirsty girl, and I mean that in the kindest sense I can. But if I had been here that long and I was that big, I'd be a thirsty girl too. I'm gonna check now and see. There's a big root in here that I can't get through, and I don't really want to damage it too much. All right, let's see if it fits. Yeah, roots look good. I don't know if you can see, but I can split those out a little bit. Perfect. It's not root bound, so I don't really need to do much. And now, just push the dirt back in. I don't have any biotone or any like starter fertilizer. I don't know how much it helps or not. They say it does, but who knows? Most of my plants I've planted without it, some I've planted with it, and I don't really notice too much of a difference in the ones with and the ones without. But let's get this leaf mulch back in, which, by the way, leave your leaves. If you don't mind the way it looks, it's very beneficial to insects that winter over. It also feeds your soil. They'll eventually break down and feed the soil, make your soil more, I guess, less compact as they break down. And this oak tree has a lot of leaves, so I usually just blow all the leaves in and leave them, especially as I'm establishing this bed. Anyway, there's the first plant planted. As you can see, the next plant fell over, but this is a Formosa Azalea. We've got 3 more right here, so I'll just continue this little drift. And it's a much smaller root ball, so it should be easier digging. Right beside it is another Formosa Azalea. This is a Camellia sasanqua. They're all evergreen, so it makes a nice backdrop up against the fence here. And this should be a lot easier digging too, because this sand is not nearly as compacted, and it's a much smaller root ball. But again, thirsty girl over there. But this one is very compacted roots. Probably need to break them up a little bit. That should be all right. Man, there's a lot of roots in here. I let it sit in this container too long. Here we go. Filling her back in. And it should be happy. Since this root ball was it was kind of root bound, but I'll probably come back and trim off some of this top growth so that the roots can catch up, have some time to catch up and grow without the top of the plant trying to push out more leaves, because it uses up a lot more water. Now I'll do one more plant. This is a Gatsby Pink Oakleaf Hydrangea. Like I said, when you leave the leaves, it improves your soil a ton. I mean, this is super, it's not compacted, the opposite of compacted. I don't know, not dense, undense, I don't know. Anyway, it's a lot softer and much easier to plant in because the leaves have been left in this spot for many years. That spot over there where I was digging the other one used to be part of the driveway, so it's extremely compacted. Made this a little bit too deep. And this is a small root ball again, so I might do the same thing. I might clip off some of this new growth on the tips. The thing about oak leaves and azaleas, for that matter, is they bloom on old wood, meaning that they set their buds this year for next year. So if I cut the tips off, it's going to sacrifice the buds, but I'm okay with that as long as the plant does well. I would rather have a healthy plant for a long time than a wilting plant short term. Anyway, there's the oak leaf, and I think that's it for the day. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time.